The lecture topic is automatic drive line. In the drive line, the first topic is driving thrust. What is driving thrust? Torque produced by the engine causes the thrust on the wheels. This force is responsible for the forward motion of the vehicle. The drive force from the wheels transmitted to the body or chassis by means of radius rods or thrust members. These members are in longitudinal direction in connecting axle casing and the body. What is torque reaction? Torque reaction occurs due to the resistance offered by the wheel to the motion. This causes a torque produced on the axle in the counterclockwise direction when viewed from the left side of the vehicle rear wheel axle. The torque produced by the braking torque is just the opposite to the torque reaction. The torque reaction is opposed by band hot rod which connects the rear axle to the vehicle body or chassis and prevents excessive bending load coming on the propeller shaft. Side thrust. What is side thrust? Side thrust comes mainly when the vehicle is taking a turn or while the vehicle is moving along an laterally inclined surface. The side thrust coming on to the axle can be taken by pancart rod. There are two drives are there. First one is Hotchkiss drive. Hotchkiss drive combines the springing and pushing or locating of the rear axle. Hotchkiss drive consists of a leaf spring and a propeller shaft with two universal joint and one sliding joint. The front end of the leaf spring is pivoted in a pin of bracket which is bolted to the vehicle frame, while rear end of the leaf spring is supported in swinging angle with anti-friction bush material. The leaf springs are bolted rigidly to the rear axle casing at the middle. The spring takes weight of body, torque reaction and driving thrust. The Hotchkiss drive, simplest and most widely used rear axle drive. The suspension springs are torque reaction, driving thrust and side thrust. Construction of the Hotchkiss drive or propeller shaft with two universal joints, a sliding joint. The spring is fixed rigidly in the middle on the frame. The drive torque is transmitted through the front half of the springs. The front end of the leaf suspension is rigidly fixed on the frame while the rear is connected via a shackle. Two universal joints are used to avoid the bending of the propeller shaft due to the torque reaction. Sliding joint is provided to accommodate for the variation of the length of the transmission shaft. Torque tube drive. Second one is torque tube drive. Like this, the Hotchkiss drive, the torque tube drive. In torque tube drive, the propeller shaft enclosed in a hollow tube. The tube is rigidly bolted to the differential housing at one end and is fastened at the other end to the transmission through a somewhat flexible joint, that is a universal joint, situated in spherical cup fixed into the frame. The torque reaction and driving thrust are taken up by the torque tube. When the vehicle comes across a bump or shocks, the center line of the bevel pillion shaft will not be shifted and always passes through the center of spherical cup. Hence, only one universal joint is required at the front end and no universal joint at the rear end. This is in the case of torque tube drive. The tube incorporates bearing which support the propeller shaft. It is usually located between the gearbox and propeller shaft. No sliding joint is required in the propeller shaft. In many cars, a pair of thrust rods is attached between the rear axle housing and the transmission end of the torque tube. The torque tube and the truss rod brace the differential housing to prevent excessive differential housing movement. In this drive, the leaf springs takes only the side thrust besides supporting weight of the body. In torque tube drive, the springs takes only side thrust besides supporting weight of the body.